Okay, in our first lesson, we created a material that we're going to use for fire. In our second lesson, we created a simple particle system. Now, in our third lesson, we're going to create an object using a term called instance geometry, and we're going to make that material or object applied to the particle system. So, to do that, we're going to go ahead and begin with a sphere. Go to Create, Geometry, Standard Primitives, and go to Sphere. Okay, now you can go ahead and just drag a sphere out in here, and then we'll zoom in to take a look at it there. Now, so that we're on the same side, let's just keep this, go into Modify, keep your segments at 32, and let's change our radius to about 3.5. So proportionately scaled. That should work with the current frame we have. Now we need to add the noise modifier. Go into Modify and apply the noise modifier. Now, of course, that's happened because we haven't changed the parameters, so now we're going to look at those. Leave seed at 0 and change your scale to 5. Leave roughness at 0. Alliterations. We'll make this, change that from 6, we have to have fractional, from 6 to 4.5. Strength. Let's do negative 2.9. For Y, we'll do 5.5. And for Z, let's do 12. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're creating a messy looking, like a crumpled piece of paper, which is going to simulate the fire flames. Now, this particular model is just going to be instanced over here. So, we're going to go ahead now and go back to our particle system and select the particle system. Okay, now with the particle system selected, we need to go down under particle type. So we open up the particle type pull down menu, and you're going to see where it says particle types, standard, meta, and then we have instance geometry, and that's the one we want to select because we're defining the part here. Now we also have to keep in mind that once we do this, if your computer is not very powerful, the preview could crash max, so we'll want to make sure we make some saves here in a few minutes. But with instance geometry, now it's telling us down here, object, we need to pick that object. And if you can guess, we're going to go ahead and select that, and we're going to select the actual object that we made, the sphere. Okay, so now this actual piece here is not going to be part of the particle system, so let's go ahead and right click and hide that. Now, of course, you're probably going, okay, well, I'm hitting play and I'm still seeing these little ticks. And again, this is where we want to save. So let's save a copy right there so that we don't lose anything. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change our particle system to view what we're looking at. Right now, we need to scroll up to the top here and notice where it says viewport display. We're at ticks. Now that's fine. If your computer is not very strong, but I'm going to give it a try here and hit mesh. Now what's happened is it's taken that weird box and it's put it in these particles. Now again, we're only using 10% of our particles in the viewport display. It's actually going to render 100. Now I could go ahead and just type in 100 real quick and show you that this is what we're going to virtually have. And I'll hit return and play. And it's going to move kind of slow because it's obviously going to create a lot, but that is going to be our fire material. Alright. So, we're going to go ahead and stop there. And in our next lesson, we're going to go ahead and drag the material over, apply it, and then put a glow on it using video post.